Hi everybody, my name is Annie and welcome to my channel. I am a potter and I am also, multi-passionate, so I am moving into trying to become a self-published author as well. So if you're new here, welcome. And yeah, you'll just see a lot of writing and pottery and all kinds of things like that on this channel. Today's Monday and I generally do vlog videos, but I did want to kind of bring up a new idea that I had. So normally I do vlogs of my week, and this one will be too, but I did want to take a chance to sit here and just talk to you about what my thoughts are going forward with the YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel has kind of been all over the place. To be honest, it's mostly been pottery themed, I'll admit, but I did do a lot of how-to classes in the beginning, and then I found that I just really didn't enjoy not having that face-to-face with people when I was teaching. I do like teaching, and I do currently do pottery classes and stuff like that at my local pottery studio for kids, and I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do during the week. But I found that doing the camera and trying to teach people and stuff without gauging their reactions just doesn't work very well for me. My brain just can't. It's hard to explain. I'm a very kinetic learner. Obviously, I move my hands a lot. I always have to be moving, have to be doing. And so when I'm working with other people and trying to teach them how, a lot of times I need to see how they're doing it. I need to judge how much information I think I can give them versus how much I can't. And all that is kind of hard to do and pick up on, over a camera, right? And so I do have some videos about certain things and stuff if you're interested, go ahead and take a look on past videos. But I've kind of stopped doing pottery lesson videos and stuff like that because of that. So I've kind of moved to vlogs, and I've been doing vlogs and kind of talking about just running a small business as a potter, trying to become an author, things like that. But the problem that I'm running into with that is that I'm kind of getting bored of it. I suppose probably some of it is because I am multi-passionate, and I've run into this problem where I want, when I get tired of the pottery, I can move to the writing. When I get tired of the writing, I can move to the pottery. And, I kind of can keep my interest that way. But with just doing the vlogs, I find that I'm getting burnt out. I'm getting worn out. I'm getting tired of doing them. And not that I'm going to stop doing the vlogs, but I just want to try to do something else in between. So the vlogs will be more every other week. And that will also give me more time to record, because sometimes there's not a lot that happens. There's not a lot of exciting things that happen every day or every week, So that would also make it so that it would be easier for me to have enough content that was relevant, that was entertaining, that was fun to watch. I did struggle with where I was going to go from here. I wasn't sure what other videos I wanted to do since I wasn't going to be teaching pottery. And then I've had kind of a struggle of fitting in the writing along with the pottery. So I actually have to give a shout out to one of my subscribers. Kudos to the YouTube algorithm, because this person also wants to be an author and a potter, and they found me, so that's super cool. So I will put their little handle here, of who gave me this advice, who kind of suggested this idea. I did change it a little, but it was a spark. I was oh right, I got a comment about what kind of video to make or what they would like to see. Their suggestion, their idea, was that I do wheel throwing or some kind of pottery related thing, but then have a voiceover or talk about something writing related. So the idea is that I will be doing some sort of pottery, whether it be wheel throwing, trimming, glazing, any kind of thing like that. I plan on recording, and then I'm going to do a voiceover, and I'm just gonna go over things that happen to pop into my head while I'm on the wheel, right? And it'll be a little bit more structured than that. It won't just be random thoughts at the wheel while I'm doing pottery. But I thought this would be kind of a fun idea to explore, and a way to combine, my love of writing, my love of pottery, and And not to say that all of my thoughts are pottery related or all of my thoughts will be writing related, but I thought it would be kind of a fun idea to explore, and having like the pottery and stuff in the background, something you can watch, but then also listening to, you know, my thoughts on a particular subject. So I thought it would be kind of fun. You know, it's kind of like a chat with me, only it'll be at the pottery wheel, right? It'll be, you know, while I'm throwing, or while I'm trimming or things like that. And so I thought that would be kind of a fun thing to explore. And the kind of things, the kind of subjects I'm thinking about going over are things like whether it be burnout, whether it be self-doubt, whether it be how I went about doing something. This particular comment was talking about how I went about finding beta readers. So that might be kind of a fun idea to explore too, is going through like the nitty-gritty things, like how do you find beta readers, or how do you, you know, promote your pottery, or how do you, you know, it's kind of like a little bit podcasty, but with the pottery to watch, right? That's kind of the idea. And so I'm calling this new series Thoughts at the Pottery Wheel. And next week is actually going to be the first one, and it's just going to be an introduction. I'm just kind of going to explain what my thoughts are on doing this new series, and we'll see how it does. I'm excited. I'm hoping that the series will do like well, or at least I'll enjoy doing it, and it'll be kind of a reprieve from doing the YouTube vlogs all the time, from doing the vlogs. That's kind of like what I'm thinking and kind of my ideas behind it. And yeah, so after that big old long spiel, I'm not gonna like talk a ton more. I just wanted to say that today's goal for, you know, this vlog for pottery for Monday is to do some glazing. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm just, I've got a couple of mugs that I was able to get bisqued a few days ago and stuff, so we're gonna be glazing those. Hello again. I'm just kidding. So we're not doing glazing today. Well, I did some glazing today, but I realized I got about 2 of my mugs glazed in the inside of the liner, because with all my pottery I do a liner glaze and then I'll do like all the fancy combos and stuff on the outside of the mug. It just makes me feel better to know that, you know, food safety and all that jazz. It's just the process that I prefer. So I was putting liner glaze in all of my mugs and then realized that I'm out of liner glaze, and I did go and buy more. However, I left it at the Clay Connection and I don't really have time to run over there and get it and then come back before I have to pick up my kids from the bus stop. So we're just gonna have to put a pause on that, and possibly tomorrow, I don't know, my son has a dentist appointment, possibly Wednesday I'll be able to go get glaze, although the kiln repairs on Wednesday. I don't know, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out some time to go get my liner glazes I left at Clay Connection, which is my local pottery studio. I have a little locker there and stuff, and I had put them in there not thinking about it, and yeah, so I have liner glazes. I bought liner glazes, they're just not here, so so yeah, we're gonna have to put a hold on the glazing until I get my liner glazes. And so today, instead of doing that, I think I'm going to go ahead and just do some writing, the flash fiction. And so for this month's flash fiction, I'm just doing another Melark episode because that's what they wanted. And yeah, so I need to get that done. I need to get that done this week. So I'm probably just going to be working on that and just doing a bunch of writing if I can. Which is going to be a weird shift, like trying to switch my brain from pottery and glazing to writing. But we'll attempt it and we'll see how it goes. Hi everybody. So I'm in a different location, my actual writing desk. It just was super cold the last couple of weeks, so I was doing it upstairs because I don't like being cold and sometimes the basement gets a little chilly. Today is just going to be me really trying to get some writing done. It's been kind of crazy, just thing after thing after thing, kind of throwing wrenches into stuff. And I even had like this live that I was doing on my Instagram where I was reading some of my short stories. And it's on my writing channel, not my Stories N Stoneware, but my author Instagram. I do read stories live like once a month over there. And I was even late to that. Like there just keeps being life is lifing right now, and I'm struggling to stay ahead of it, struggling to like keep at it. Because I'll show you, I have my board here. So if you haven't heard of it, it's a program called HB90 by Sarah Cannon. She's also an author, and I am a super organized person, and so I really liked this aspect of having like stuff that needs to get done on the like top here. All that is stuff that needs to get done. Then in the middle you have the stuff you're doing, and then the stuff that's finished. And you can see I started out really strong like the first month too. And I've gotten a lot of the tasks done. I've definitely had like 2 or 3 weeks where stuff just isn't getting done. Like I'm struggling to get the writing done. I'm struggling to get the editing done. Like I got the beta reader feedback early, right? And so I had every intention of sitting down and starting the edits and stuff. And I did do fast edits after I got all the beta reader feedback back. But that was mostly just where to put the scenes and how I want the story to flow, more so than actually writing the scenes that need to get added and stuff. So yeah, I'm not like behind, because I do have till like the end of March to turn it into my editor. So I do have like a month to work on it. I was just hoping to get a little bit of a head start on it. And then also I just keep struggling to find time to be able to write, the episodes for my serial fiction on my Patreon, right? Because I'm writing like episodes and I'm trying to release them like every 2 weeks over there. Usually like the first and the third week of every month I'm trying to do that. And I don't know, I'm barely making it to like have the episode ready and ready to read. And I'm not getting ahead, right? And I mean, at least I'm meeting my deadlines, but I would like to get to the point where I'm not so stressed about trying to meet those deadlines. And not that it's like anything that I'm necessarily doing. Like I said, life is just lifing and it's a struggle, right? I mean, I've even missed a writing meeting with my like writer mastermind people, and like, I was late to the live I did today, and for me, like, I'm very much an on-time person, get the things done, meet the deadlines, even get it done before the deadlines. Like, I'm definitely that kind of person, and so it's been driving me a little bonkers that life keeps making things harder for me to get stuff done, right? Just so you know, I am still planning on adding videos, like the Thoughts at the Pottery Wheel videos. That'll probably be next week. But again, I haven't been able to get into the studio to do throwing it, to do some pottery wheel throwing and stuff like that. It's just been crazy. I've been basically meeting the bare minimum that I have to do every day, but not really being able to do more than that, and not even doing that very well. I'm not going to spend a lot of time checking in and recording and stuff because I just really need to get some writing done. I need to get some editing done. I need to get like stuff going. I need to try to edit through the flash fiction, Melark. I'm writing another Melark story for my patrons, so I got to write through that. Well, I have it written. I just have to edit it, and then edit and write another episode of, you know, my serial, and then start edits on Eyes of Pewter, and then I have a pottery class tonight, or, you know, where I'm teaching the kids. It's the last round, so it should be kind of an easier day. It's not like I have to do a ton of teaching. It's more like just finishing stuff off and things like that. So that'll be easier. I don't necessarily have to like plan out how I'm going to do the teaching and the lessons and stuff with the kids. So there's that. But like, it's still kind of, I don't know. It still kind of interferes with the writing time and the fact that I've got to get these things done. And yeah. I mean, like, I'm not going to go into like what's going on in my personal life and all that jazz. Don't feel like really sharing that here. But it's just been crazy, and it's been hard to like stay on top of everything. And so yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We're just gonna try to get a ton of writing done, and then tomorrow I'm gonna try to get a ton of writing done. I do need to at least get the Melark episode done and edited today because it needs to go up tomorrow. Like I said, I'm like barely making it like to my deadlines and stuff. And so yeah, so I definitely need to get that done today, and pottery is probably going to happen like, I don't know, maybe tomorrow. But then all the stuff with my kiln, it didn't get entirely finished Wednesday, and so he does need to come back, which he's probably going to come back on Friday. So I think Friday I'm kind of going to be at home too, doing like a bunch of writing, finish off getting the kiln fixed. And so I'm probably looking at like next week going in and doing a bunch of throwing, and that's going to be my Patreon project that I'm doing for my patrons. We're doing The Princess and the Frog. No, The Frog Prince. We're doing The Frog Prince, sorry. Not The Princess and the Frog. We're doing The Frog Prince as a story. So I need to throw that mug. I'll probably do a couple of those. And then, of course, I've got to start on The Wizard of Oz. I mean, I've done like a piece or two for The Wizard of Oz, but I really need to like get throwing all of that. Like, I need to get that done. I need to make those pieces. I'm kind of behind on that too. Originally, the plan is to have these go live like next week, and that's just not going to happen because I haven't even made the pieces yet. So, yeah, I don't know. We're just going to keep trying to plug along and get this done. So, yeah, I'm just going to get some writing done. And tomorrow I'll probably record what the kiln looks like after it's been all fixed and fancy and stuff. Hi, everybody. So I am here. I'm going to kind of just explain what happened. So, the kiln tech came on Wednesday, and that's when they did all the elements, and that took a couple of hours. And I had a few other things that I wanted to have fixed too. Like, there was a little piece of shelf that had broken off and stuff, so we were trying to cement that back in. There were just kind of a bunch of little things that we were doing, so it took us about like 2-3 hours to get the elements in. And then the problem was that we didn't have the relays to replace those as well. So the Scott person came back on Friday, and that's when they went and they decided to change all of the relays as well, because that's just kind of a typical thing they do if they're coming in to change all the elements. It's just kind of good practice to change the relays as well. And then it was kind of recommended that we run a bisque, kind of just to make sure that everything was wired right, that we've got the right amperage going to where it needed to go, you know, that it even fires, you know. It's just kind of a good rule of thumb to like run a bisque fire and stuff. So we just did a fast bisque fire because there weren't any pieces in it or anything like that. It was just mostly just to make sure the elements were working and kind of seat themselves in the place, you know, in those little alcoves they need to be in and stuff like that. So we did that. And yeah, I'm just going to show you how everything fired, show you the diagnostics of the firing, which is really neat with having this like automatic screen right there that hangs off of the box. It actually lets you go in and see like all the details of the program. And so I can see like how many amps each of the elements were pulling and things like that. So I'll show you that. We'll go over how the elements look in the kiln. Anyways, I could really use my bigger kiln. So we're going to check that, make sure it's all good to go. Okay, so here we go. I guess it says that it only took 21 minutes. I guess it kind of felt longer than that. But it looks like it got to the temperature it needed to. I'm gonna go and check. I'm gonna check the amperage to make sure the kiln elements are pulling the correct amperage that they need to be pulling. Let's see, here we go. Diagnostic reports, I think, is what I want. Last firing status. Okay, so the last firing status says that we have three element sections that pull. So we've got, it pulled 21, 8, and 21, which is pretty close to what we want. So it's actually pulling a little bit more on amp 1 and 3 than the specs say. So it's usually supposed to be like 20, 8, 20, I believe is for this kiln. So it's pulling a little bit more than it needs to, but I'll just keep an eye on it and see if it changes over time, see if it goes down to 20. It might just be because they're new elements and stuff. The numbers aren't too far off of what they need to be, so I'm okay with it being like a little bit over. If you didn't catch my other video, it was a lot lower than it was supposed to be, and that's kind of how we knew that the elements needed to get changed, because it was reading like, the diagnostic was reading 16.5, 16. And the actual firing was reading like 14.5, 14 or something like that. So it was a lot lower than it was supposed to be. So just a little bit over I'm okay with. Yeah, so let's go ahead and check inside the kiln to see how those elements are doing. We did end up fixing part of the kiln. Some of the shelf came off. So it looks like that's holding pretty well. So that's good. It didn't come off or anything. Looks like the kiln cement held it in pretty well. We'll see with, you know, multiple firings if it starts coming off again or not, but so far it's held. It held through a fast bisque, so that's a good sign. And it looks like all the elements are where they really need to be. They're all sitting there. There's nothing too crazy going on, nothing popping out, so I think we're good. Okay, so I think we are all good to go. We're good to do another bisque in here, and this will be a slow bisque. I just want to make sure that everything fires right. I prefer to run my bisque slow just to make sure, you know, you burn out all the impurities and stuff. And I find that it kind of lessens the amount of pinholes and stuff I get on things. Not that I don't get pinholes, but I get less of them. Right. So yeah, so we're just, I think we're good. I think, it'll just be, we have a lot of pieces to make, a lot of things to, you know, go through, to do, to fire, to glaze fire, so we can get this Wizard of Oz collection out. And like I said, it'll probably be a little later than I had planned on it. I had planned on it going live next week, but yeah, like I said, life has been lifing, and we're just kind of going with what we can get done, right? Especially with this being down, kind of threw quite a wrench in my plans. So I also haven't been like making a ton because I couldn't fire a ton. So yeah, anyways, that's kind of what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a bunch, run a bisque, see how that goes with a slow bisque fire, see if it can do it and it can make it to the temperature. I am going to be putting cones in it inside the kiln just to make sure it gets to the temperature it needs to, both the bisque and the glaze fire. I always do the glaze fire. Sometimes I don't do the bisque, but I want to make sure with it having new elements and relays in it that we do have like an accurate measurement of what the heat got to in the kiln. So I'm going to be doing that. But first, you know, we've got to make the pieces and get them in there, right? So that's kind of the update. The rest of the day is just glazing and glaze firing, and hopefully next week will be a little less chaotic. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath, but it would be nice to like have a little bit more chill days so I can get more work done, get more writing done, things like that. So we'll see. We'll see.